Hey everybody, Lumanos Time here. Welcome to yet another video. Today's video is going to be super important because I know a lot of people are going back to school. A lot of people have just got some nice shiny iPad Pros and you're kind of wondering how to take notes on that iPad Pro. And so today's video, we're going to be discussing how I take notes on my iPad Pro. Cue the intro. Hey everybody, Lumanos Time here. Welcome to yet another video. For today's video, we're going to be discussing how I take notes on my iPad Pro. So let's get into it. So the semester has just begun. You got yourself a nice and shiny iPad Pro. You're super duper excited. You're looking on all these videos to discuss how you take notes on the iPad Pro or whichever iPad that's Apple Pencil compatible, and you're just kind of stuck. And for the most part, if you were anything like me, you're kind of stuck between deciding between Notability and Goodnotes 5 or 4, whichever one you prefer. So today I'm gonna basically be discussing how I take notes on my iPad Pro, and I'm gonna also be discussing which note-taking app I think is better for you. And to be completely honest and transparent, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the too long didn't read version of this video. And honestly, you're probably gonna need both. And I'm gonna get a little bit into that as I progress into the video, but honestly, like, I use both apps and they both are super important to my workflow. So let's get into it. And then also, guys, a little disclaimer. If you guys do hear a little pitter patter or random noises here, Bella's in the studio, she's running around. So I'll probably do a little appearance with her a little later, but she's here. So if you do hear some sounds in the background, that is why. All right, so now let's get into it. A little bit of background on me. As we all know, I am a nursing student. Before then, I was pre-nursing. I've been doing a lot of stuff with my iPad Pro, and honestly, this thing has saved me so much time studying, and it's just absolutely amazing. But let's actually get into the two main note-taking apps that I use, which is Notability and Goodnotes 5. So now we are in my iPad Pro. As you guys can see, both apps are right next to each other, and I do use both very often with all my schoolwork. But I'm gonna also give you guys another too long didn't read, just so you know, for people that don't really wanna watch the whole video, I'm not gonna make you watch it. For Goodnotes 5 and Notability. Notability is more if you're like really into like technical notes, you want, you know, audio recording, all that good stuff. Goodnotes 5 is for people that just really love to make their notes pretty. All right, and I say that because of course you can do both in, you know, well, I mean, Goodnotes doesn't actually have audio recording, but like kind of like to make it easier for people, that's kind of like the best use case scenarios for each app. So Notability when you want to be technical, Goodnotes when you want to be pretty. Let's get into it. The way that I use both apps is exactly like that. So as you guys can see, I do have my organization. I am organized by class, and now that I'm in nursing school, I'm just organizing my semester. But mainly the way that I do it, I'll just go ahead and go into like my biology notes here. I don't know I hope you can see this on the iPad, but basically I have it set up by chapter. And so I have like the PowerPoint, and that is exactly what I do. So I basically take annotations on PowerPoints and all that good stuff in Notability. And then after that, all the pretty stuff like final notes, study guides, all that good stuff I do in Goodnotes 5. Obviously right now I haven't been using Goodnotes 5 as much just because you just don't really have a lot of time while you're in nursing school, but that's literally what got me through my prereqs. So the way that I did it is exactly like that. And of course, with permission of my teachers, you know, I would record the lectures and then annotate while recording the lectures. And so the thing that is super cool about Notability is that the audio recordings do actually sync with what you're writing down. So basically what I'll do, and this is like a pro tip, I'm not a pro, but this is like a tip that I use that really saved me. Of course, if you have permission from your teachers, in Notability, like while like you're annotating a PowerPoint, like let's say the teacher is going from slide to slide, put like a little star or an asterisk or just something quick at the beginning of each PowerPoint slide. That way, if you want to go to that specific slide in your audio recording, you just tap it and it's gonna bring you right there. So that is a pro tip for Notability. And that's why, honestly, I could not solely use Goodnotes 5 because that feature alone makes Notability worth it 10 times over. But of course, like, Notability does have its drawbacks, which is why I then also use Goodnotes 5 is because, like, let's say if you want to, spruce things up, use like special paper and stuff like that. Notability doesn't really have that many good paper templates. That's when you kind of go into Goodnotes 5, and then it's just an endless amount of customization that you can do in Goodnotes 5. And that's why I also use both. So again, this is just a random PowerPoint that I'm going through. Nothing serious, but that's exactly how I'd do it. I'd be in class, do all my PowerPoint annotations in Notability, and then after that, I would switch to Goodnotes 5, where I would do my final notes. So let's go into Goodnotes 5 and iPad. I do a lot more stuff creatively in Goodnotes, like for instance, these like storyboards that I'm doing. I do photography and videography, so it's like storyboards in there. But all my school stuff is in here as well. So let's go into biology, like the same thing that I would do for Goodnotes, like same here for chapter 5. So basically I would do just that, like anything that I want, just like write down and make look good and stuff like that. Obviously these aren't the prettiest of notes, but you guys get the point. Like everything that I want to be pretty, I'm going to put in Goodnotes 5, where like everything technical is going to be in Notability. So that's really like the main reason why I honestly believe that you do need both of these apps, and why it's honestly helped me so much throughout my nursing prerequisites and now in nursing school. I'm not gonna really share any of my nursing school notes because I don't really think I'm allowed to. And I'm still currently in the program, so I wouldn't wanna get in trouble. So that's why I'm kind of going through the prerequisites and stuff like that. But like that's literally it right here. Let me go into microbiology because I think that's probably when I started to get really, really, really pretty with my notes and stuff like that. I had more time. But here we are, like with microbiology, as you guys can see, like it's just really nice. So the way that I would kind of do things, of course, this isn't like a, how to do everything. This is not the end all be all, obviously some things that work for me aren't going to work for everybody, but this is just how I did it. And it just really helped me. So basically the way that I would do it is, again, this is for my final notes. Like, of course, like for all of these chapters and stuff like that, I would have went through that in Notability. And then basically I would put my laptop like right in front of me and kind of just retake the notes from the annotations that I did on the PowerPoint in Goodnotes 5. And so the way that I would also do that is I would basically put in like my learning objectives, because you usually have those learning objectives for every chapter or every unit that you're gonna do within these classes. For the most part, sometimes you kind of have to create your own objectives of like what was important, what wasn't important. But that's a whole nother topic here. But basically that's what I would do. I'd basically go through all the learning objectives, write any random annotations on those. And then from there, I'd go more in depth, like under here, and just kind of like make like pretty charts and stuff like that. And do all that good stuff. And so, of course, again, you can do all of this in Notability. I do think that, it is better in Goodnotes 5, as you can kind of make your own paper templates. You can do all this other good stuff. You can easily change like pen and pencil colors. And yeah, you can do that now in Notability, but it's just, it needs a little bit more work to be on the level of Goodnotes 5. So that's exactly how I would do it. So I would just basically, again, more learning objectives, and as you guys see, I have some diagrams and all that good stuff, and just making it pretty, making it nice, and it's honestly that much easier to remember. So that was basically like how I got through all of my prerequisites, like all my rough notes, all my PowerPoint annotations, that would be in Notability. And then all the pretty stuff and final notes, study guides, all that good stuff will be in Goodnotes 5. And then of course, like if I have to do anything creatively, like a shot list for like photography, ideas for videos and all that good stuff, that's gonna also be in Goodnotes 5, just because I think Goodnotes 5 is a lot better for creative stuff. All right, guys. And guys, I'm just taking a little brief intermission. Belle just wanted to say hi. Hi, Belle. Say hi. She just wanted to say hi, so she's kind of like coming here and jumping on my feet to try and say hi. But yeah, so there's Belle. Let me go ahead and put her back on the floor so we can continue in the video. All right, so again, just to reiterate what I've been saying before, I think, which obviously this works for me. I'm not going to say that this, is going to work the best for everybody, but for me, this literally saved my college career. It saved my GPA, and it honestly made all my nursing school prerequisites like biology, microbiology, anatomy and physiology 1, anatomy and physiology 2, developmental psychology, all that good stuff. This method seriously made all of that super easy. I wish that I had enough time now in nursing school to continue that method, but honestly, you just do not have enough time at all, if I'm being completely honest, because there's just so much stuff being thrown at you at once. And so like if the iPad Pro is like your only device, here we have both apps in split screen, and it works very well together. So again, it's very, very easy to like play the recording, view your annotations while also then taking notes in Goodnotes 5, just to kind of make everything pretty so it sticks more, okay? So that, honestly, it really, 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 really helped me out, guys. And so if that's like the method you want, again, like when you're listening to like slides and stuff like that while your instructors, lecturing, put like a little star or something like that, just so you can go back to that exact point in the recording, makes your studying time cut in half, literally. Like it cuts so much time. You don't have to like try and figure out at what point in time that specific thing that you want to hear is. And of course, it works like by the sentence too. Like let's say you want to just listen to exactly one point on one slide, just tap whatever note that you had at that point, and it's going to go straight there. So that alone, again, makes Notability super, super worth it. And then obviously the customization, that makes Goodnotes 5 super, super worth it. So if I only could choose one between Goodnotes and Notability, honestly, it would have to be Notability. I say that because like at this point in time, I'm really only using Notability, and I just cannot get rid of the recording function. Even if Goodnotes were to implement it, I don't think they'd be able to implement it as well as Notability does. So it's just, Notability would be the one if I can only choose one. But honestly, guys, you need both, okay? And I'm not trying to sell you anything. None of these apps are sponsoring this video. This is just a video that I promised you guys that I would make for a while, and I just never got around to it. And so I'm kind of like getting into doing it. But honestly, guys, you need both apps. And if you're not one that likes to make something pretty, then of course you can get by with just Notability. If you're not one that really cares for audio recording, then of course you can get by with just Goodnotes 5. But for me, and I think for you, it would also help too, is if you just got both. There you guys have it. That is exactly how I take notes on my iPad Pro. If you guys have any questions, or if you have any suggestions as to how I could kind of make this a little bit better, feel free to leave those in the comments. With that being said, guys, if this video did help you out, or if this video kind of helped you make a decision on which app to get, how to take notes, or just anything, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that little bell notification so you don't miss any videos. Also, guys, let me know if you guys prefer Goodnotes 5 or Notability. Let me know what your favorite note-taking app is. I know there's a bajillion note-taking apps on the market, but these are the two that just work for me. So if you guys use anything else other than these two, also leave that in the comments for me as well. And also, guys, let me know if you would like any other videos on iPad Pro note-taking. Let me know if you guys would like videos on iPad Pro productivity. I've been thinking about doing all of that stuff because I am a nursing student, and this thing has honestly saved me a bajillion. So I will totally recommend iPad Pros for everybody that is in nursing school. But yeah, let me know if you guys do like those types of videos. I know I've probably been rambling for quite some time explaining my whole note-taking process, but there you guys have it. This is Lou Monestein. This has been how I take notes on my iPad Pro, and I'm out. Peace.